in 2015. Performance car specialist Sidney Ang performed his magic on a Ford Mustang with a 5-liter V8 to add a good number of horses underneath the hood. The Ford Mustang is back in his shop for more.
Welcome to our latest project, Mighty Mustang. And it is indeed mighty. At 350 horses, the only thing that's been done so far is a K&N intake that we've actually installed 5 years ago, back in 2015. And now it's already 2020, and owner actually has come into some money, so it's about time that we did a full exhaust, and we're gonna do ECU tuning on this Mustang also. But the most curious and interesting part is, in the last 5 years, it lost none of the horses that it did. Previous record was 353, now it's actually 354, and there's actually a little bit of increase here, about 10-15 horses here at the bottom. Just goes to show what happens when you have a very well-maintained car.
So how does Sidney plan on increasing the horsepower of the 5-liter V8 engine in the Ford Mustang?
We'll be installing a long tube header for this one, so 2 sets, that's both left and right banks. Then go into an H-pipe with a crossover, then Borla muffler and Borla tips for this one. Because the owner also wants it a little bit noisy, because it ain't a Mustang if it doesn't have that V8 growl and rumble.
What is the first thing to do when upgrading from stock exhaust system to aftermarket performance parts on a Mustang?
And as you can see, to be able to access all of this one, we have to drop the subframe, which is this thing. You don't remove this, you don't get to install headers on a Mustang.
What are the parts to be replaced or retained, and why?
This is the stock header, there's a flange here, and this is the catalytic converter. The shorty header just replaces this section here. Still retains a stock cat because in America they need this for their emissions purposes and whatnot. But the real power maker is if you get a long tube header like this. So this is the long tube header. As you can see, it's a 4-1 design. And by the way, for those of you wondering why not 421 or any of that, all of that is utter nonsense. It only works for Hondas. Honda B series. Every article that you see on the internet is only about the Honda B series, the 4.1 versus 4.21 and all of that. Doesn't work, doesn't apply for any other car, especially not on a V8 like this one. Another thing that you'll see around when you hang around Mustang people a lot of time is what's called an H or an X pipe. Sometimes it's called an X pipe because they have 2 pipes that cross like that. What this does is actually it equalizes the pressure between the left and the right cylinder banks. That's what you want to happen. So the exhaust, there's equal pressure coming here and going out there. Of utmost importance also is this one, the stock oxygen sensor. This one has to go back to the header, and there is actually a provision for that one over here. So that sensor has to go back here. It will bolt on to this one. If it doesn't go back, hello, check engine light.
Why use OBX-R Performance for Project Mighty Mustang?
If you own a Mustang and go to all the various websites, you'll see famous brands and really long-term like Cook's headers, Hooker headers, Headman. All of these guys actually make pretty good headers. Then you'll see a few other guys which are less expensive, like JBA will have one, OBX will have one. So what we're installing is actually an OBX header. Performance-wise, between a $1,500 header and a header like this, which is around $700-800. There is a few horses difference, but you can get the expensive one like from Cook's because they have a greater band, slightly different design, but in general, it's pretty much a scratch.
The proof of pudding is in the eating. In performance upgrades on muscle car, the proof is in the sound of the engine and the horses on the dyno.
Sweet, sweet V8 rumble. And now with the full exhaust installed, which includes the long tube headers, H-pipe, mid-pipe, 2 Borla mufflers, we're now at 402. A big 50 horses increase with just an exhaust. And if you look at the torque chart, peak is 461 Newton meters, and now we're at 516, but the biggest gain is actually in this area at 3,000 RPM, from 380 to 480 Newton meters. This you definitely feel once you step on the throttle.
What's next for Project Mighty Mustang?
Up next for this one is we should be able to squeeze a few more horses with an ECU tune. That's gonna be next after this one, but for now, we're pretty happy with the car, and we're gonna be taking it out for a full detailed job. Okay, Muscle Mustang is done. She is shiny and powerful. So far what we've done, we've taken a stock V8 Mustang, which is already powerful itself to begin with. We started with 330 horses, and now she's making a very good supercar territory of 450 horses to the rear wheels. And aside from that, we did a full exterior detailing with Wax Daddy, exterior, interior, and even the engine. We'll get a good shot of it here. There you go. We have a K&N Typhoon intake. It's a little bit hard to see, but we have long tube, equal length headers here on both sides, and then a custom catback with Borla Pro XS mufflers and 2 big oval tips at the back. Let's see how she does. Sweet V8 rumble! Now that is muscle!